Hello, my name is Haley B. I am the writer and creator of a book called WristClocks, Time is Not Yours to Keep. I've been told that reading it out loud might interest some people, hearing an audio version of my book. I'm not a great reader out loud person. I'm not very good at it, but I hope you enjoy it. If you like to hear more, I will post other videos of me reading the rest of the story. I don't know how long this one's gonna be. Probably not 2 minutes, that's for sure. But I hope someone out there enjoys what I hear. WristClocks, Time is Not Yours to Keep, a book by Haley B. Some people kill in rage. He kills by the second. Each clock he carves tells a story, and none of them are yours to rewrite. Probably need this though. Ooh, water. Keep going. Try this. Keep going. Chapter 1. The First Hour. The clocks carved into skin tick backward, counting down down to secrets buried in silence. The clocks I carved only showed the time, a time, their time. Tick, tock. The ticking never stopped. Not in silence, not in screams. It haunted, it waited, it counted. But clocks can do more than show the time. They can correct it. My clock, her clock, his clock, our clock. None of them ever show the same hour because time doesn't work the same for everybody. Tick, tock. The clocks carved on wrists only showed how long you've been living past your end. The numbers counted down, then loop, then shudder until someone stops them. Tick, tock. Patricia Allen's was laid beneath the picnic table, like an offering, pale as winter linen, not a strand of hair out of place. She looked untouched, until the body was lifted, and they saw the carving. On the inside of her right wrist, precise as anything a jeweler might cut, was a clock. A wristwatch of flesh, and she wasn't the first. Morgan Jennings and Joyce Vaughn were found days earlier, side by side in Hayward footballs, 21 and 23. A Romeo and Juliet copy, they said, matching clocks on their arms. But those clocks didn't match either. Different times, different cuts. And Joyce's carving had deeper lines, slower healing. Eric Poland was found slumped in his driveway, gun dropped beside him, 32, on meds. Long history of instability. His family assumed the worst. But the carving was practiced, clean, unlike anything someone trembling with fear or grief could have done. Now there were 4, and still the seconds ticked. Tick, tock. And they began to notice the patterns slowly, reluctantly. The clocks weren't mere symbols, they were signatures. Timepieces so precise, so deliberate, that even the spacing of the carved ticks mimicked the real watch gears. Each time carved into the wrist was different, down to the minute, even the second. No alignment nor correlation, just lonely fragments of time, etched onto cooling flesh. Whoever was behind them wasn't just marking time, they were keeping it. But It was the detail that disturbed Detective Mason Cole the most. Not just the numbers carved or the careful hands, but the impossibility of the craftsmanship. These weren't messy, self-inflicted cuts. They were clean, controlled, almost surgical. Every marking is identical in depth, spacing, and even curvature, like they've been made with a steady hand of a master engraver, not a desperate soul. No blood trails, no hesitation wounds, no struggle. It didn't make sense. Patricia Allen was the fourth. She'd been gone less than 12 hours when they found her under the picnic table, positioned, not tossed. Her fingers rested gently on her stomach. Her eyes closed, her mouth slightly parted like she was mid-whisper. Mason crouched beside the body as the sun rose behind her, casting long shadows across the frost-glazed park grass. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. The others from the apartment gave her space. They knew well enough to recognize the shift in her posture when she was trying to hold herself still. It was the clock again. Same carving, different time. This one read 034109. Mason jotted down in her field notebook, though she didn't have to. The numbers were already burned into her mind. There was no overlap in any of them. Patricia's was early morning, Eric's late afternoon, Joyce and Morgan were evening. Even if someone tried to connect them through moon phases, birthdays, whatever, there was no thread. But Mason could feel it. There was a pattern. She just didn't have the key yet. The park was quiet. Birds had even begun their morning chorus. Its stillness hung in the air that Mason didn't trust. Too heavy, like the world was holding its breath. Then her phone buzzed. Another body. Chapter 2. Echoes in Time. The ticking never stops, not even after death, and some clocks strike twice. Tick, tock. That infernal ticking again. Always the same, always there, even without a clock. She wouldn't stop the ticking, so I stopped her. He said she adored clocks, so I gave her one, a perfect one. But what time, what face, what hour? He suggested her first death. She had already passed it. Seconds turned into minutes. Minutes became hours, then months, then years, and in every heartbeat I still heard that black-handed clock swinging behind my eyes. Missed chances, missed memory, the big mistake. Tick, tock. The news played, flickering across the darkened room. No new discoveries, no deeper understanding, just blood and guessing. He sat watching. She sat beside him, hollowed by the sound. Tick, tock. She stared at the grandfather clock. It rang every hour, once, twice, always too late. The ones, the twos, the threes stared back, mocking. They remembered what she was trying to forget. She'd been pure once, bright. She had ruined it, lost it, broke it. The chimes rang again. On her wrist, the carved time read 12:03. Tick, tock. He'd said the clock never lies. She said the clock never forgave. He didn't understand why she kept wept after curving. She never told him. It was for herself. They knew, though, that being alone and uncaring was safest, but sometimes they cared, sometimes they were alone. Those were the dangerous nights, though nights like this one. The wind outside pressed against the glass, like it wanted in, moaning low through the cracks. The television flickered in the corner. Sound off now. Lights splashing shadows across the walls. A storm waning. Warning crawled along the bottom of the screen. Storm warning. Red pulsing like a heartbeat. She watched it with one hand pressed to the faint scar beneath her sleeve. It burned, not with pain, but with memory. Still there, always there. He stood across the room, polishing the edge of a net blade that had no right to be as clean as it was. The air between them was thick with unspoken things they've carved onto time itself. There had been 5. Soon there would be 6. Where? She asked. He smiled, not kindly. She lives alone. Keeps a collection of broken clocks. One of them still ticks. She nodded once. The pain had faded. The mission was louder now. Sometimes it was easy. Sometimes it was not. He didn't understand her words. She didn't want him to. Tick. Tock. The door creaked open as they stepped into the waiting night. No words, no plan. Just time and its reckoning. The street was damp, slick with memory. The city flickered slowly in the distance, unaware of what was coming. In her pocket, the scalpel felt heavier tonight, hungrier. Together apart, they kept ticking, but the rhythm had changed.